Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the show before the show. Some people getting in here. We'll get it rocking and rolling here. Good morning, guys. Welcome into the show before the show. Oh, that's the other one, Lizzie.
What's the other one?
Oh, it's under msn.com. The why the Y chromosome is vanishing and what this means for the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good free for all Friday. Although there's a lot of truth to that kind of stuff. And you definitely see how people are acting these days.
Hey guys, thanks for jumping into the show today. Free for all Friday. Like, subscribe, share the show. Check out all of our platforms. You can get them at canceltheshow.com, but we're on Facebook, Rumble, we're on X, YouTube, and then of course all the audio platforms after we are live today.
Correct. So if there's any trouble with any platform, there's several others you can go to.
Good morning to you, Chris and Kimberly and Stephanie. Please try to get other people into the show.
Yes.
Margie, Renee, good seeing you. Did I say Angie yet?
Yes.
Angie's in. Angie, tell us what they're saying. We're going to talk about this Kate Middleton and show you some video. Yesterday, I'm trying to remember what happened yesterday. I'm going to look at it. Some well-known organization.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, this is it. Yeah, I forgot about this. There were so many stories I forgot about.
There's so many stories today.
I didn't do my homework last night.
Ugh.
I always try to be zipped up and prepared, and I'm exhausted. I got no sleep. I was racing around. So many things going on.
Well, there's a lot of people. I know you didn't because you were in the 314, but a lot of us.
The 314.
You were in the 314, but a lot of people in the 636. Not me, but it did affect my husband and my daughter. The hail and the storming and people's cars were ruined. St. Dominic probably had 20, 30 cars really damaged. Wentzville, O'Fallon, part of Darting Prairie. Chesterfield was hammered yesterday night. Literally picked the car, my husband.
Have you ever been hit by a big chunk of hail?
Like personally hit?
Yeah, I did.
No.
I was in high school. I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I bet you like that.
Cool.
Yeah, Stephanie's saying that she was at her work, which is in kind of North O'Fallon, but anyway, and they had 3-inch in diameter hail. It was huge.
Yeah, that's a chunk.
Yeah. I saw people's cars. They were sending me pictures of their cars all really damaged. The wind was horrible. But no, Vic, I have never been hit in the head with hail. I've had a car, but not my head. I bet that hurt. Well, as a kid, you probably thought it was funny.
Well, no, I mean, I saw some goofballs, some of our linemen when I was playing football at Mizzou. It was hailing and we were inside working out. They ran outside with the helmets on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. For sure. I had a little boy, my next door neighbor. It's out there. We didn't really get the hail where we are. We just got wind and rain. And I thought, oh, this was so refreshing to see. He's laying in kind of the gutter part of the street, letting the water, just licking up the water as it came down, and then kind of acting like he was going to get in the sewer. And I thought, that is so refreshing to see a kid be a kid. And he was crawling all over the ground. And most parents know, get up. Don't lick that water. Don't do that. And his parents, they've come a long way. They used to be one of those micromanaging parents. Now they let their kids roll in the dirt. It's so fun to see it.
We've got so many wild, crazy stories today. I was trying to stay away from, we got a little bit of politics, but trying to stay away. Joe, we have one for you regarding cannabis and a murder. It goes against everything that you have ever said about cannabis.
Did they feed them to death?
Did they eat a whole bunch of Twinkies and Doritos?
Mm.
Oh, that's so funny.
Gosh, we got so many damn good stories today.
We really do.
We got it. Look, we got the Tyson Foods, about the Cape Middleton, these C-40 cities. I wanted this.
Yeah, okay, I didn't know about that. I love it.
I'm like, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I got to do that.
I had to get that before Joe got in.
I can tell you a little bit that was said.
Oh, yeah.
About that. I'll bring that up during that period of time. I didn't prepare for it, but it'll be fine.
Like, subscribe, share the show. We're in the pre-show, getting ready to start. The wife made me cover our cars from hail. What do you cover your cars with hail? What do you put? Like cardboard? And how do you get it to stay? Blankets?
Cardboard, blankets, like anything. You could even put like a
How do you
car
keep
cover.
it there? Do you have to tape it? Tie it?
You tie it underneath. Because people just got hammered.
Joe, your shot looks good, my brother.
Thank you.
You're looking good.
Pro Joe, people like to see you. And you know what? There's an interesting comment. I forgot to tell you. It was on the chat line the first time you did that. And somebody goes, I'm surprised Joe looks like that. And then they were having a comment.
What is he supposed to look like?
No, it was a compliment. I don't know what they expected you to look like. I don't know. But they're like, he looks so much better than I expected. I don't know what they expected.
Oh my God.
Look like Igor, a hunchback.
Well, probably because you're like hidden or whatever, so people expect that.
Right.
I think they were shocked at as good looking as you are. I don't think they expected that.
I hide this beauty.
That's right. You hide the beauty. That's right. Well, because it blinds us if we see it too much.
Right.
Oh my God. You're just laying it on Joe again today. All those compliments for Joe.
I'm telling you, every day I come in here, it's a confidence booster. Lizzie is just
Well, it's all true. I'm just saying it's all true. And I said this to him the other day. I said the talent that this show has, and I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Joe and Vic and Eric and Kelly. Right. There's so much talent in one place.
Talk about the people who come in and help us. Derek.
Yeah, Derek is awesome.
And
he's amazing. And Megan, I love her.
We're definitely fortunate for the people that are
Hey,
involved.
by the way, remember to like and subscribe and repost. Repost us on X, repost us on Facebook, repost us on YouTube. Even if that's not the platform you're watching, repost us. It's working.
Yes.
We're getting to more people. If you have an X account, repost us. All you have to do is repost. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't even quote, just repost. It works.
We really appreciate it.
It gets the stuff out there. Okay. It's a free-for-all Friday. We got a lot to get into. We're going to have a good time today. Let's go ahead and start the show. I'm going to give Joe a compliment. I know we've talked about it before, but I really do love this video. It gives me energy. And Karen says, and Joe, you are so very handsome.
Right? I'm hearing that a lot. I'm surrounded by very handsome men.
Well, he's always got women around him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, you know what? Since we've been doing
like
the show, he
are
always
you down
has
to one? Are you down to one woman yet?
I have always been down to one woman.
Okay.
You make my girlfriend think that I'm
no, I
sort
do.
of...
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you do. You do make it sound like he's a womanizer. It's just women like him, but he's not. He's not a cheater.
No, I'm a very loyal, good guy.
You're like a big lovable teddy bear.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he
Aren't
is.
you?
All right, are we going to start the show?
all the men on the show
You're
have
like
women that like him.
You're like, what was that movie? Who did? Mark Wahlberg and the teddy bear. What the hell was that?
Yeah, but that teddy bear was
what was that?
I forget
perverted.
the name of it. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Ted, wasn't it?
Ted.
Ted?
Shit, if you've seen my dog, he's like a little stuffed animal.
Yeah.
So that's my little thunder buddy.
I started watching it with one of my kids, thinking it was a good kid movie, and I had to turn off because Ted was a pervert.
No, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Joe's like, that's good. We're in the show before the show.
that's right.
No, that's who Ted. Yeah, you're just like a big old teddy bear.
Yeah, he is.
Nice teddy bear that hands out gummies. Let's go.
Or pre-rolls.
Pre-rolls. But only Cubano. Friday. Hey, Vic Faust here, trying to time that out. Vic Faust, Lizzie Sparks, Projo in the house. It is cancelthisshow.com. You know what we do Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central and all the time. Of course, check out all of our information, our shows, our library on our website, cancelthisshow.com. Oh, yeah, Barbara says Ted was raunchy. I know.
Nasty little teddy bear.
News. I just feel like we need one of Lizzie's drops when you say nasty little teddy bear.
Whack off your penis.
Oh, my God. That's not the one I was talking about.
Well, she said raunchy. So
Well, and he probably, I'm not even going to go there, but that's probably exactly the right.
Well, you never know what you're going to get here.
You never know.
That's why we've been doing over a year now. We're grateful for all of your support. Jump on in. Fridays are free for all. We have some fun. We have some stories. We'll talk a little politics, but we try to stay away from it as much as possible as we can, even though it's involved in all of our lives. It's a day where we put our head in the sand just a little bit, because Fridays are the news dump day, when all the big stories get dumped out on Friday afternoon, so that all the important stuff that people need to talk about won't talk about it, and hopefully Americans forget about it by Sunday/Monday. But it's also why our Mondays are shows you can't miss either, to round up and catch up back up on everything. Tommy says, what did she just say? I get it's a Friday. Let's let Tommy hear one more time one of Lizzie's all-time best quotes that we happen to capture.
Whack off your penis. Now you have a vagina. But I mean, it sounds so out of context. I really was talking about how
we hadn't heard that in a long time.
I know. It is.
We can't overdo it. So that's good.
That's right. And it's because I was talking about, little kids, that their parents are okay with castrating their children to make them a transgender. So I said, don't whack off their penis, because then they really do end up with a vagina.
And you certainly don't want to touch the other part.
No, you don't. You don't.
The other anatomy, the part that you like.
Balls. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I say that for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah, you like balls in your pillow too.
I do like balls in my pillows. I do.
I don't know. That was another one.
Yeah.
I wish.
I do. Anybody that likes my pillow.
Whack off your penis.
Yeah.
Totally sound like Marge Simpson.
Yeah, I do. You know what?
Whack off your penis, Bart.
I do kind of sound like that. I don't have a voice for radio, but
I'm going to go there. Hey, we're appreciating everybody jumping in. Eric Johnson on his way in. Kelly Mano, she needed a day off today. Actually, she's got a lot going on. So we're doing that. Coming up on the show today, Tyson Foods firing American employees, and now they have a plan. They want to hire 52,000 illegals. Tyson. I will not be buying Tyson Foods. I can tell you that much right now. I promise you, I will look and do everything I can to stay away from Tyson Foods. Just wait till you hear Obama talk from years ago about what should be happening when it comes to immigration, when it comes to illegals. This might blow your mind. Where the truck is Kate Middleton. Now we're getting reports out of England from big news sources saying that Kensington Palace is no longer a reliable source for information. I mean, that it's all coming. Something bad is going on over there. It's going to come crumbling down sooner or later. The C-40 cities, we've gotten into that before.
Yeah.
What they are, the 15-minute cities. We'll break that down a little bit. We're also going to talk about a woman who was basically given nothing for stabbing her boyfriend. And the reason she's getting off of the sentence, she's not getting off, but she's getting off the sentence,
Yeah, you got to watch where you put the
Mhm.
commas there. You
It
got to
has-
watch it.
It has something to do with marijuana. It'll blow your freaking mind.
Mm.
So anyway, like, subscribe, share the show, jump in, let us know all those things that are going on. It is a free-for-all Friday. If there are topics, any information that we need to be sharing, talking, interviewing, let us know. Hey, if you want to join the show today and have some fun, let us know. We'll send you the link.
Yeah.
We can do that as well. We appreciate it. That's what we try to do here. The show's about you guys. Jump in on the live platform as you always do, and we'll rock and roll from that standpoint. Yes, we are like a box of chocolates. Hilarious. Yes, Lizzie is hilarious. Free for all is going to be such fun time this morning. We hope it is. Let's just drop the more serious stuff right out of the gate. If
Yeah,
anybody has anything that we're missing, you want to talk about that we should talk about, let us know.
Mhm.
Let us know. Let us know. Just jump in on the chat line from any of those sources. And please like, subscribe, share the show, repost, do it, whatever you need to do. Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble. We're in all those spots. Cloud Hub. You name it, we've got it. Okay. We have to start the show off with Obama from years ago, talking about immigration, talking about how the plan should be. Now, there are many of us who feel as if he is a puppet master or a part of it. I just don't see how he could not be involved.
Of course.
And maybe you say one thing publicly and you do
Mhm.
another thing private. But when I was going through, and many of you probably saw this, but this is the same thing Joe Biden used to say. Now you look, imagine where our country is right now with illegal immigration, and then listen to what Obama said when it came to illegals coming into this country.
This is not going to be a free ride. It's not going to be some instant amnesty. What's going to happen is you are going to pay a significant fine. You are going to learn English. You are going to go to the back of the line so that you don't get ahead of somebody who was in Mexico City applying legally. It's not something that is guaranteed or automatic. You've got to earn it. I think the American people, they appreciate and believe in immigration. But they can't have a situation where you just have 500,000 people pouring over the border without any kind of mechanism to control it. So we've got to deal with that at the same time as we deal in a humane fashion with folks who have put down roots here, have become our neighbors, have become our friends. They may have children who are U.S. citizens. That's the kind of comprehensive approach that we have to take.
Did you just hear what Obama said?
I heard him, and you know what? I don't like to have any bodily harm done to people, but sometimes I just want to smack Obama's face.
He was such a great liar.
I mean,
He was the best orator in the history of our country.
He's a nice-looking guy who is a great orator, but he just spews lies, and he's the great divider.
Well, it's often said those who lie will continue to lie. And as you
Yes.
continue to get lie, you get more slick at it.
Uh-huh.
You get better at it, and you actually start to believe your own bullshit.
Mhm. I think,
That's
yeah, he
that's
believes
what
his
I
own
see.
bullshit.
That's
He
what I
does.
see with him. Okay, fast forward. What the hell is going on now? He wants to stick his head in all kinds of political business. He just,
Mhm.
he's got a fundraiser that he had for Joe Biden coming up. He and Bill Clinton and Joe Biden all together at Stephen Colbert's house. Big La-Ti-Da event, tons of money going in. Yet, where's Obama talking about that these days? He was in campaign running for office talking about that. Where is he now? That pisses me off
Me
when I
too.
see what's happening with our country right now and what's going on, and you see what's happening. And I wanted to show you that video. So don't forget, these Democrats have all said the same thing. And then all of a sudden right now, they're worried about being canceled or they're being paid. Once again, it's not very difficult to see the circuit attorneys in all of these blue liberal cities, the attorney generals who are doing everything they can to destroy what we have, DAs everywhere. They're being bought and paid for. That's why they have gone so far left. And then you look at all the illegals coming into this country, Chinese still coming in. We literally had a colonel for the Army yesterday come out and say, I am extremely concerned with the amount of illegals who have crossed this border. He's like, we have had an increase and continue. And we've talked about it here. Chinese nationalists. Why do they continue to come?
Mhm.
Something bad's going to happen to this country. And there's nothing wrong for me saying that. Something bad is going to happen.
True.
Oh, Vic, be positive. Yeah, I'm trying to be positive by bringing out the truth. They're not coming here for jobs and to make a living and to have a better life. There is no effing way in hell. And how did they get here? Why did China allow them to come here in the first place?
Mhm.
I'm telling you, you just don't leave China. You just don't. No, you just don't. It's not easy. Not that many people. Something's going to happen. And then when you think about what Obama's done, check out this video. Laura Loomer, she's huge Trump fan. I don't know who's a bigger fan, Lizzie or Laura Loomer.
It's a big toss up. Yeah.
But check out a video that she's put together that they're just promoting Donald Trump with. But when you look at what's happening and you see it, these are the kind of things we're dealing with right now.
From all over the world they came.
From China.
Angola. Millions of illegal border crossers have entered the country unlawfully.
Egypt. Cameroon.
They're coming by the thousands. Nobody could afford this, and even morally it's so wrong.
Venezuela.
You're not smart enough to know who I am, but soon you're gonna know who I am.
We will secure our borders and we will restore our sovereignty.
They recognize the fact that Joe Biden is more favorable president for immigrants. Trump or Biden?
Biden, of course.
It is a free-for-all Friday. We're getting some of the politics in there, though, now to set the stage. I don't know if there's a day that can go by where we can't talk about what's happening at the border. It's a terrific ad, not something that makes you feel great, but you need something that's going to at least be truthful. We're about facts here. We're not worried about your feelings. We'll worry about feelings on the backside once everything else is taken care of.
Correct. And that was a wonderful video, but it's also infuriating at the same time. It got out the truth, but it's showing the truth is so infuriating and it is so wrong. It isn't even humane for the people that are coming over here. They have all these promises. They're given these very expensive cards. They're getting $9,000 and all of this. But then after this money's gone, they're committing crimes. And the video showed all the crimes these people are committing, and they're coming from all over.
Obama said it wasn't going to be a free ride.
Well, yeah, of course. By the way, new news came out as well where Joe Biden is trying to remove all of the razor wire from the southern border as well. Republicans are still trying to urge everyone to sign a petition to keep it in place. National media won't cover that because they're trying to get as much done behind the scenes without national attention as possible. So once again, it is happening. And we continue to talk about, let's let everybody in. Let's do all of that. And nothing's being covered with that. By the way, Hamas is still holding 6 American hostages in Gaza. How much in the media do you hear about that?
You never hear about that anymore.
Yeah. We told you we would never stop talking about it. We don't do it every day, but we do bring it up. 6 American hostages still being held in Gaza, over 100. Yet all you hear, take care of those good Palestinian people who don't like Hamas, when we know it's a lie, unfortunately. And while there's fault on both sides, as there are in war, as there is in war, you have to talk about the facts first. Don't show me your pictures of kids and everything else. Just listen. Let's release the hostages that you came in and took, and then you go back to the table. That's how it works. You don't use it, because how could anybody feel sorry for them? We're going to keep hostages. Oh, really? We're going to rape and kill women and not talk about it. We're going to rape and kill young girls, and we're going to kill babies as well of Israel, and just listen to us. So anyway, those things are going on. This is the border that's happening, and it's bad. Not only that, now you have Tyson Foods. Have you guys heard what Tyson's Foods are doing? Tyson's Food is announcing it's firing over 1,000 American workers, and their plan is to offer new jobs to asylum seekers. They're literally shutting down a plant in Perry, Iowa, in the heart of America. Tyson Foods, they're shutting it down. Not sure if you guys heard about this or not. When I read it, I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I got to go look at that. There is no way in hell this is really happening, and that they're really trying to get workers who are illegals. Well, sure enough, Scripps News was reporting it. On top of Tyson allegedly firing over 1,000 American workers and shutting down their plant in Perry, Iowa, they now are saying that they want to hire 52,000 asylum seekers for factory jobs. Guys, they're putting it out there in public. Once again, we try to be ahead of the game, and we've been talking about this for over a year. It's only a matter of time before what is illegal and what is wrong is promoted to you as being something good. We're also told it scripturally. What we know is bad will be thought to be good, and what is good will be thought to be bad. This is happening. It's happening in Missouri. It's happening in Iowa. It's happening in California and Texas and Michigan and New York and Florida and every state in America. 52,000 illegals. They're putting it out there right now. We knew this was going to happen. And people can say, well, they're going to do the jobs that Americans didn't want to do. Yeah, they're going to do them at a very low rate.
Mhm.
And here's how you respond. It's not just to say something, get upset. You don't buy Tyson foods. You
Correct.
send it back. Money hits the biggest.
Yes,
It hits the biggest and it gets people's attention.
absolutely.
The fact, I don't even care if they were firing American workers. The fact that they say they want, quote, want to hire 52,000 illegals for their jobs.
They're admitting it.
Unless there was some way where they said that Americans were, unless there was some way where they proved that Americans are refusing to do these jobs for good wages and that we need it to keep everything going, because there are jobs that Americans have not been doing
Mhm.
that illegals do.
I found a video from Bloomberg about this. If you guys
Yeah,
want.
go ahead and show it. How long is
video? It says 4 minutes.
I
But
didn't want to go 4 minutes.
yeah,
but
I mean,
We'll
if
just
you
start it and we'll cut it
yeah,
off.
okay.
Yeah.
Bloomberg's Simone Foxman is reporting on how meatpacker Tyson Foods is capitalizing on this inflow. And Simone, this is one of the stories that really got my attention this morning on the Bloomberg terminal. We know that critics of the White House talk about New York City migrants as illegal, but your story actually points out that they have work authorization. Walk us through what that means.
So these are asylum seekers or people applying for a very similar temporary protected status. So they apply for asylum and then they wait. But that application for asylum starts a ticking clock. And so most of them will have work authorization within 6 months. That said, they may wait for years for their very first immigration court date, and it's a good thing, frankly, for them to be able to work. It doesn't mean that they're on social services provided by New York City or elsewhere. It means that they have papers, they can go get a job, be documented workers, and this, it turns out, is actually a pretty attractive source of potential workers for places like Tyson.
So why does Tyson have these, what seems to be immense hiring demands?
So it has a turnover rate of 40%, meaning 4 in 10 of its workers every year on its what it calls its frontline workers, the folks who are, washing the chicken, looking for bones, packing it up into trays. Very few of them are going to stick around in the long term. So it needs to hire something like 52,000 people.
Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's a bunch of, as we like to say, do you have your button ready to go, Joe? You know what that is when I hear that? That's a bunch of
a bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit. Bullshit.
That was totally bullshit. And what's interesting is Jesse Waters had something about this last night, talking more about how we're talking about. And Eric, speaking of bullshit, Eric is going to come in. No, I know.
Was outstanding.
Total bullshit.
That's my new license plate.
Yeah.
Speaking of bullshit.
Speaking of bullshit, here comes Eric Johnson. We're talking about Tyson Chicken firing Americans and putting in illegal.
Well, they tried to say, here's what she was saying. She said that, well, they come in here, they get their court date, and then they go work. So they're not getting any benefits, and that's wrong. And they'll probably never, ever have their court date. And it could be 4 or 5 years down the road. That's why it's bullshit. Even our little kid even noticed that as bullshit.
Noticed it was bullshit.
A bullshit?
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on around here, man?
It is a free for all
morning.
Friday.
Good morning, Eric
You only
Johnson.
show up when it's a free for all Friday.
Yeah,
I know.
Makes the day.
I know.
Makes the day.
Bunch of bullshit. Eric, that Perry, Iowa, canceling their factory, firing workers, shutting it down, and wanting to bring in 52,000 illegals.
It's the beginning of the system that they're putting together.
It's the beginning of the end.
You guys don't understand.
No, we didn't.
You guys don't understand. This is all part of the master plan.
And this is coming from Eric.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, Eric.
Well, I've been
gets
saying
it.
that for 10 years, man. I was like, what the hell's going on? Why is this little old man who was so opposed in this, Obama, who was so opposed to having a breach? It's like the little Dutch guy that took his finger out of the dam and said, oh, screw it. Let's just let this thing go. It's a plan. And Tyson is like, you know what? We get it. We understand where this is going. Cheap labor. We don't really have to do anything. They're not going to form a union. They're going to be enslaved to us for $15 an hour. This is the first company that will be doing this. It's not the last.
That's right. And that they're so obviously doing it.
It is. It's very American company to be doing it. First of all, it's kind of weird.
From the chat line, Midnight Sun says, well, guys, Tyson needs to be able to afford their lab grown meats. Come on now.
Well, there you go.
They got to
That's
be able.
another element.
You got to have illegals to take care of the process for lab grown unnatural meats.
That's right.
It all makes sense.
It does make sense. It's not surprising. Like 3 years ago, I would have been surprised. 4 years ago, I might have been surprised. When Trump was in office, I definitely would have been surprised. But we know what's going on now.
We do.
There are demographics that are going to be voting in blocks. The census is going to give money to their communities. The elitists who have these businesses want the illegals coming over and working for cheap. That's the system. Get used to it. It ain't changing. So
it is. You brought up Trump. By the way, we do breaking news stories here too, even though it's a free-for-all Friday, and we try to stay away from politics as much as possible, at least by 8:30 or 9. Fani Willis, the Democratic Georgia prosecutor, the description and the perfect example of entitlement and being passed along because of DEI is going to be allowed to stay on the case against Donald Trump as long as her deputy steps aside. And of course,
stupid.
Yeah.
Unfair.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
But the judge was already a lapdog to Fani Willis and the Democratic measures, and he's a Democratic judge. So I knew this was going to happen. It doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. And Trump's going to end up winning that case.
You think so?
I do. I think he's going to win it.
Yeah, I thought that was a nothing burger. I mean, it is unfair, but it's a nothing burger.
I know the Democrats and liberal-leaning people in politics and in law are changing the laws every day to make things and trying to be as hardcore as they possibly can to keep him from running and winning. But yeah, I do think he's going to win that case.
Man, I'm so worried about that stuff because this new word that we've learned in the last few years, lawfare, is a real thing.
Weaponization of law.
And it doesn't even matter. You don't have to come in with the facts anymore. The guy literally has a $500 million fine levied against him over some chick's word. Over, you know what I'm saying? It's like
with zero evidence.
It's like to me, you have to have, CC video footage, high definition video footage. You have to have, witnesses, 20 witnesses. You have to it seems like you got to be charged criminally
for $500 million.
Yeah, for $500 million. You need to go to court, lose criminally, be in jail, and then go to civil court, not the other way around. It's like they didn't prove anything. So lawfare is a real thing. I don't see it the way you guys do. I feel like any jury that hates Trump is just going to go, I already know how I'm going to vote. I don't even have to
of course.
I agree with you on that.
But this case is different, I thought this case would be different. I know they're in Fulton
How is
County.
it different? This is the appearance of being biased, or the appearance is supposed to kick these guys off the case.
But even the cases in New York against Trump, the juries didn't go after him or didn't say that they necessarily found him guilty. It was the judge that pushed and put words in there.
Yeah, but the jury could have been there as the firewall.
But the judge instructs and tells the jury, this is how you need to sentence now. And it was the judge. The judge is the one who controls the whole proceeding.
Yeah, it no matter how you slice it up, Trump in New York is never going to get a fair shot. It's not going to happen. It'd be like having ISIS on trial in Troy, Missouri. There's no way ISIS is getting off the hook in Troy, Missouri.
That's right. That's very true. That's a great analogy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Here's another great headline that just came across too. Illegals, this according to the House Committee on Homeland Security, says that a recent report is estimating that $451 billion in annual costs now stemming from the U.S. border crisis. And a significant portion of it, over 75% of it, healthcare for illegal immigrants.
Of course.
That's nothing.
Here we go again.
Healthcare, free housing, 0% loans for houses in California. I mean, what?
Well, medical care in California. That's why 50 Cent got so pissed off and called out Gavin Newsom.
Yeah.
He's like, healthcare is expensive.
Yeah.
If you pay,
Yeah.
And it's getting more expensive.
Yeah.
And you get less for your money, just like the shrinkflation when it comes to items in grocery stores.
That's what he's more obsessed about Doritos in a bag.
Right.
Than having illegals participate in our tax money.
Well, he'll start to care if the Ben and Jerry's ice cream container gets smaller.
Oh,
That's
God.
right. And
He
the
knows
chocolate,
But he
chocolate,
doesn't
get
scoop.
his ice
But he
cream.
doesn't scoop his own ice cream.
Right.
So
Somebody
he
else
don't
does.
know.
Yeah.
I don't think he could do it with his hands and wrists.
No, I don't think he could. No.
I don't either.
No, little guy. Come here, little guy. Come here, son. Come here, little guy.
Would you like if he came over to your house, Eric? Would you offer him some ice cream?
No, I wouldn't let him in.
No, he'll offer you Fireball.
No.
Well, he won't. He still will
The
not.
first time I went into Eric's house, he offered me Fireball, and I'll never forget that.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. But he's not going to offer Joe Fireball.
Vic brings over Tito's, and I'm like, here's some cheap shots.
There you go.
Let's put this white
Fireball
crap
tastes
away.
really good.
Let's
See how
go.
drunk we can get your kids, see if they'll jump in the pool in April.
I think that was the first time my son did a shot. He was only 8 or 9.
That's
It's all
right.
right. You got to raise them up sometime.
That's
They got to
right.
learn.
That's right.
And it's not illegal in the state of Missouri to give your child alcohol, by the way.
What?
No, it's not.
Okay, time out.
That's a true story. So one of my neighbors called the police on us because we had a bunch of 18
Of
to 20
course,
year olds.
you got your
Of
neighbor.
course.
Why do your neighbors hate you so much?
Because I'm a conservative and she's a liberal.
Oh, there you go.
That's the truth. And so the police came. But what's so interesting is we like when the police come.
No.
So when the police came, we're like, "Hey, how are you?" And he goes, "Well, we got a phone call that you got underage drinking here." I said, "We do." I said, "But you know the Missouri statute on that, right? That you can have anybody under the age of 21
Mm-hmm.
in your home drinking if they're supervised and the parents of the kids are aware, as long as there is no intent to get them drunk."
What's the point?
Well, but you might not have intended to get them drunk. They might have drank and got drunk,
This is
but
a
that wasn't your
definite
intent.
gray area.
But it is. So the police officer said, "Yeah, you're actually right." I said, "Well, we want to come in and watch what they're doing." So he stayed.
Yeah,
for a while.
we're taking communion all evening. Though.
That's right. All evening.
Well, this is the blood of Jesus. We're drinking wine.
That's right. The baptism in the pool.
Here's some pizza.
There you go. But that I don't know about every state, but in Missouri, it is not against the law.
Well, that makes me think too, because I saw a story come out this week where there isn't a law against how young you are to get married in the state of Missouri too. Did you see that headline?
I did.
Or there's a law on the books, and if our listeners, I mean, we got listeners all over the country, but for the ones in Missouri, let me know or if you remember that. I thought there was a law of trying to make it so that you can't be too young to get married.
Well, I know there's still horse laws, like you can't tie your horse up at the,
that's
down on Main Street or whatever.
But you know what though? Horses are ridden through Ladue.
Are they really?
Yeah, from their horse farms. They come up to sportsmen. People ride their horses.
That is cool.
It is cool.
No wonder it's so expensive to live there.
It is cool.
I'll take the Clydesdale. Okay, I'll take that.
I've never seen a Clydesdale.
I know.
Coming down Clayton Road.
But in the old days, see, we just live in a different time. In the old days, we used to go to keggers and we used to go into fields. And I think that the cops were they were always on to us.
They knew it.
They knew what time they were going to raid the place. They knew what they were going to do when they saw us coming out with 6 packs of Busch Light. And, they would dump it out and say, have fun. Don't try not to hit that sign over there when you're driving.
That's right. That's right.
And it's just a different time.
And it is because police officers were not as hard on us back in the day.
But I wonder if you can let kids drink in your house as long as they're super, because I had one of these parties.
Correct.
Where I kind of didn't know kids were having alcohol.
It goes both ways.
I took all the keys.
Yeah.
And our kids were staying here.
You would not have gotten in trouble.
I talked to all the parents.
Yeah.
And I was still scared shitless that police would show up.
But even if they came, you would not have got trouble. The police came to our house. As long as the parents that you have there are aware that there is alcohol in the home and gave you permission.
I thought I was going to get that.
No.
Police would show up. And,
I would be afraid because the law is ambiguous from cop to cop to cop.
Well,
one cop is like, "Oh yeah, we did this back in the day. Have fun, guys." And then another cop shows up and goes, "DFS is on the way. The paddy wagons are coming." So you don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, but what about marijuana now? What about that?
Yeah, I don't know the law on marijuana.
Because everything is changing so fast when it comes to cannabis and cannabis use and what you can use and kids. And, one of our listeners, Robbie Bazell, I mean, he had his daughter taken away from him because he was giving her THC, which stopped her epilepsy and all the seizures.
Yeah.
He had his daughter taken away, even though it cured her of her epilepsy.
But wasn't that prior to the law changing?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to remember with all of that.
Because I thought.
See, I'm a libertarian when it comes to drugs.
Of course.
But then again, I've been to Portland, Oregon.
I knew that.
And I've seen some bad crap in Portland and Seattle where it's completely knock yourself out, have fun.
Well, I knew
And
that
I'm like,
about you
"Ugh."
when I came to my first PRL show and it was a break and I went back and I saw you sniffing the table. I was like, I was like,
No.
damn, Eric goes hardcore.
I needed some carbs. It was actually flour.
Yeah.
No, I don't do that stuff. That's not saying anything bad about people that do.
Right.
But I'm a libertarian, and I think that you should be able to do whatever you want, pay minimal taxes, yada yada, the whole 9 yards. But I have been to these cities that it's not good.
Yeah.
When it's like these people that are they are always experimenting with the newest drug coming out. Fentanyl seems to be a fun one in some of these cities, and it kills your ass, and it puts you down, and it makes you live in the in the public square, and it yada yada yada. So I think, man, I don't know about pot and marijuana, but I mean, it's not good for the brain.
What is it?
Marijuana.
You mean over and over and over?
Over and over and over again. Yeah. Maybe on a Saturday night.
But I'm going to tell you what marijuana is good for.
What?
Marijuana is good for getting you out of a murder conviction.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. This is a big story that just hit.
Wow.
It's becoming a worldwide story right now. And this is where, Joe, you're going to have to speak up and show your camera after I read this story. A California woman who was facing up to 4 years in prison because not only did she kill her boyfriend, she stabbed him 108 times.
Oh, my gosh.
I wonder what the hell he did.
I don't know.
I've seen that look in the past.
I told you underwear in the basket.
Yeah.
I mean, we laugh. I mean, so this guy lost his life. This happened in 2018. So instead of getting a 2-year sentence, 3-year sentence, 4-year sentence, the judge gave Bryn Spiker or Speecher, she's 32 years old. She got 100 hours of community service.
What?
They found her guilty of involuntary manslaughter. So she was convicted of involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah. Okay.
Then she was facing sentencing. She could have gotten 2 to 4 years in prison. She killed a human being.
Wow.
I don't care how many times he cheated on her or did whatever. And then here's what they did. They said, the judge, according to the medical, now this is a medical director in Los Angeles. This is in California.
Yeah.
They said that she couldn't be convicted because she was involuntarily intoxicated. And there is a term for this. It is called cannabis-induced psychosis, where she could not be responsible for her actions after smoking cannabis. She literally got off of murder.
A bullshit?
So
A bullshit? A bullshit.
Wow.
So if you're drunk and you kill somebody, that's murder. That's
right.
Vehicular homicide.
Eric.
What state was this again?
This is California.
Of course. Of course.
So she smoked weed, killed her boyfriend, stabbed him 108 times.
Yes.
And they say that because she was under the influence, she can't be prosecuted. You know, when I see this story,
It makes no sense.
That doesn't make any
gives
sense.
everybody in Los Angeles an excuse to go do whatever
they want to do as long as
they
they're high.
want to do. And what is the difference, Eric? And that's why you're so smart, between being under the influence of cannabis and being under the influence of alcohol.
None. It's a way for California to bring us farther down this path of lawlessness.
Yes.
And to make a case. Of course, if I'm the prosecutor in a state that wants there to be no criminals in jail, I'm going to ask them, I say, so did you kill him on purpose? Absolutely not. I was stoned. Oh, okay. You were stoned. Okay. Let's examine that a little bit. Oh, you had no control of your abilities to not kill this guy. Well, of course you're innocent. So that it's easy for a prosecutor to make that case. And then and again, we go back to the juries who are morons, because the law is supposed to be, and it's not anymore, guys. Let's get over it.
Right.
It's not, there's no blindfold on Lady Justice anymore. The blindfold's off. They're looking at situations and they are making decisions based on, oh, it's a marijuana case. If this goes through, then our ability to legalize marijuana is going to go down the drain.
According to the National Library of Medicine, and Joe, I don't know what this does for you, but a diagnosis of the disorder, which is cannabis-induced psychosis. I'd never heard of it.
Doesn't matter.
The
I never heard of that.
diagnosis is given when hallucinations
It doesn't matter.
or delusions materialize shortly after consuming cannabis.
You were the one that made the decision
Mhm.
to participate in said cannabis.
And she said that her boyfriend, who she killed, forced her into smoking the last bit.
All right,
Oh,
here's
stop.
where I'm going to interject. So you smoke some weed and you stab somebody 108 times. You think after the 50th time, and I don't care, I've smoked a lot of weed at times. I've never, if I'm 50 stabs in, I know what I'm doing. This is not involuntary whatsoever. You know
That's
what I mean?
right. I don't get why.
This doesn't make sense that 108 times, oh, it was involuntary. You were under the influence of weed. Anybody who smoked weed.
I've seen a lot of people under
I don't
the
understand
influence
how a jury
of
convicted.
I've seen a lot of people, drugs mainly, no matter what the drug is, it all has its psychosis problems. Alcohol, for God's sakes. I've seen more people do more stupid things drunk that can't control themselves. It is your fault.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's your fault.
Yeah.
You know, it's it's not
you
a
made
defense.
the choice to smoke the weed, and if you stab somebody 108 times, doesn't matter what you're under the influence of, you did that.
Yes,
right. I agree.
Right.
But this is what I mean. This sets precedent
Yeah, it does. That's scary.
in California.
I
in
was
the Los
stoned.
Angeles area.
You just killed a whole family in a minivan. Well, I was stoned.
I was stoned.
Yeah.
Oh well, then let's take a blood test. Oh, yep, you had marijuana in your system. Get out of here, kid.
Tommy says, "Listen, guys, I smoke every day and I take 0 medications. 56 years old. I believe in Mother Nature." Yeah, Tommy, because I've seen the value of it, especially as opposed to pharma, and that's why we have a cannabis advertiser with this show. And people speak of great value in using it over at Route 66 Cannabis.
Yeah.
I just get scared shitless when I see a woman get community service after stabbing her boyfriend because a medical director said it was cannabis-induced psychosis.
Look, here's the deal.
And what's the difference between, as you said, there is no difference.
There's no
between
difference.
Cannabis and alcohol, is there?
I say do what you want as long as you don't affect someone else's life. How about that? Can we agree to that?
Yeah, but that sounds fun.
Can we do that?
But how are we? But we could be affecting somebody's life in a variety of ways.
Well,
it could happen.
I guess if you do that, if you're under the influence of anything and you're in your own house and there's nobody else around you or whatever, fine. But the minute that you have someone else near you that doesn't partake or doesn't want to do it, or then you go out in your car and you go kill somebody, or you get mad so you stab them, or like that girl that got in a fight in Hazelwood and she just was whacking the kid's head. If she was high, wouldn't think about that. So
was she
high? I don't know.
I think she was just enraged.
I think she was too, but I'm saying, but if she had been high, would she have gotten off if she lived in California?
Not in Missouri yet. I think I don't know. To me, it's like, I'm kind of like, just live your own life, but don't affect someone else's life. How about that?
Right.
Whether you're driving drunk or whether you're high on cannabis or whether you're on a binge all night long with crack cocaine, whatever it is, do you.
I still don't know what.
You do you. But if you come at me, we got a problem.
That's true.
Yeah. Well,
that's true.
This is my crack gun. So what I mean, here's my meth gun.
Joe, there is no way cannabis makes you enraged, correct? You don't hear about people going out and killing people when they're high or when they're under some sort of cannabis. It
calms you down. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It puts you to sleep and gives you the munchies. You don't want to stab somebody 108 times. That's crazy.
Well, and then
it's just crazy. That's literally you're under the influence of crazy. Period.
Greg says he killed a bucket of KFC the other day after smoking his.
Well, there you go. I guess you want to eat food, but I mean, think about it. If that calms you down, I don't know. I've never done it, so I don't know. But if it calms you down and then you go and stab somebody, that must have been one mean person.
We are making some dumbass laws in this country. That squatter thing that just got overturned in Florida. I don't know if you guys read that yet.
I did. I
saw they basically.
It was so.
Here's some common sense. If someone takes over your house while you're gone, and they pretend, there's the key word, that they have a lease, and they don't, and it's
right.
Then you take them and you get 2 burly cops and you rip their ass out of your house, and then you take them to jail for burglarizing your house.
Yeah, but you can't get cops to help with that.
No, they can now in Florida.
Oh, that's
it,
right.
it went through.
In
You
Florida.
can't, not Missouri.
Not in Missouri.
Well, why not? Where's Nick Shore when we need him?
You can camp out
Call
on
Nick.
somebody's sidewalk.
Yeah.
Glad you didn't.
Well,
call
you
Nick.
know what? If we call
Where's
Nick-
Elliot Davis?
Where's Elliot's not going to deal with that? I need Nick. Give me Nick Shore's
Well,
phone number.
he's too busy fighting with some far
Where's your
right
son?
lady. Well, he might deal with it. And I love Nick, but he's busy fighting with somebody right now.
Oh my God. By the way, update the Kaylee, the girl who was in the fight that got slammed against the ground. Her GoFundMe's up over $200,000.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, because they're still waiting to see what her damages are going to be. Just giving you updates. I know we cover lots of stories here, but we're just giving you new updates and new information that comes out.
Man, that chick she'll be in the MMA one day because
Yeah.
she was, I was like, what makes you so enraged? I mean, I saw fights when I was in high school,
Yep.
but usually it was just books getting thrown into the trees.
Correct. Or a couple punches.
Yeah, but you went to school at a different time.
I went to Parkway Central. They didn't really kill
I thought
each
you went
other.
to- I
Well,
thought
I
you
went
went
to
to
Howell
Francis
too.
Howell.
I went to Howell, Parkway Central, and Pattonville. So I had a nice.
I was like, I thought you went
Yeah.
to bed.
I had a friend die in a school fight after the school fight, and he actually I was one of the ones that rushed him to the hospital and felt his pulse and his wrist.
Oh,
go away.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was great.
no.
God.
So
How
what happened,
old?
Joe? So what happened to the
Well-
person that killed him?
He was found. They released him because it was literally an accident. He got him in the headlock and they fell forward and they fell up against a car and it crushed 3 vertebrae in his neck. We just thought he was knocked out. We took him to the hospital and he passed away.
That is just so tragic.
Welcome to Free for All Friday.
Hello. We're going to talk about fights killing
Big
you.
Bummer Friday.
Damn.
Joe, could you please bring some of your Cubana pre-rolls
Right.
in for me right now? Because I can't handle
Let me just
the
had to
rest of
reach
the day.
66.
Dear God.
This is crazy.
Um,
But think about what we're saying here. The state of our children today, either dealing with this or seeing things or being involved in this. It's a rough time to be a teenager.
It is.
And now TikTok's going to go away.
Well,
And that in itself is bullshit.
before we talk about TikTok, real quick, I wanted to bring this up if it's all right.
Okay.
Okay. I credit the pastor of this church for trying to talk about weed.
Yeah.
And I'm not being negative. He's just a man, and
Correct.
he is giving his impression, his
Correct.
interpretation
Correct.
of what the Bible says
Correct.
regarding marijuana.
Okay.
Yes.
So I begged you to tell me because you went and saw this, right?
I did at the Element Church, which is, and anyone anywhere can see it. You can go on
Since
Facebook
we were talking about cannabis,
and you can find Element Church. It's based in Wentzville, and they have one in St. Charles, and they
Okay.
have one in Warrenton. And so he decided to have a sermon series, and you can ask him any question you want.
Okay.
And so last week there were 2 questions, and I thought this was kind of perfect to bring them both up on a Friday. Is the earth flat? And should you do cannabis?
let's do cannabis.
Okay. So we'll
I don't
talk.
know, man. I could go with the flat route.
I'll
too.
take
Right.
is the earth flat for 1,000?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I can't believe the things that he's bringing up. And I'm so glad because so many people, they don't even want to talk about it.
Yes.
And so to wrap it up in a nutshell, he said there were some things that were fact and some things that it was his opinion.
Okay.
And he said that he dispelled the alcohol thing that, that Jesus said you couldn't drink alcohol.
Of course it didn't.
He said, yes, you can drink alcohol.
Yeah.
You can, but just, of course, in moderation.
Mhm.
His opinion, and he did quote scripture that he dispelled that some people say that you should be able to use cannabis
Yeah.
because God made it. But his opinion was God also made the thistles and the mosquitoes, and you don't eat those. And he has zero problem with CBD. Zero problem
Well, yeah,
with
but
CBD.
CBD is not even a question.
Correct. But some people ask that. Some people question. His problem with THC was similar to alcohol. The same thing, that if there's anything that makes you go out of your regular mind and you go into a psychosis, then in his case, it breaks down the Bible if you're doing something
Good
that's
point.
not in moderation.
But okay, so it's no different than alcohol. They're the same.
Basically,
you can do.
basically.
So he is saying it's all right to do cannabis as long as you don't do too much.
Right.
Now that it's legal. And he didn't really say, he said he doesn't do either. And he said that, but what he said
Imagine you
was,
walk in and you see your pastor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he said he
in
doesn't-
Seattle,
Jesus, praise Jesus.
I
I'm
would
telling
trust that church more than anything.
in Seattle, that is, that is one part of the offerings.
Yeah, part of the offerings. Well, he just said that you can typically drink a glass of wine, depending on your tolerance level, and not get drunk.
Dude, I've seen people drink 5-6 glasses and be fine.
And
Tolerance
right,
level.
and that's your tolerance level. But he said but typically when you do, and he said he did all these things. He said he's done pot, he's done cocaine, he's done all those things back in his
Does he know
youth.
Eric?
Huh?
Does he know Eric?
Well, his name is
I just
Eric.
get bloated now.
The pastor's name is Eric. Well, maybe that's why he doesn't do it either, because he gets bloated. I don't know.
It's like drinking bread. Here's the way that I would answer it.
Thank you for sharing, Lizzie.
Lizzie, that's great. I want to go back to the flat Earth thing, but here's how you look at it. The body is your body is a temple, right?
Right.
You can do a lot of crap to your temple.
Mhm.
I wouldn't smoke in your temple. I wouldn't get so drunk that you abuse your family in your temple.
Correct.
I wouldn't do pot to where you're not getting anything accomplished in your temple.
Correct.
The body is a temple, right?
Right.
So
right.
it's the same thing.
The
Do
same
you
thing.
do you want to go into your house and destroy your house and live in a destroyed house? No. But at the same time, Thomas Jefferson said that he would go home and he would drink 2 spirits every night, and he would put his hand in the dirt, which meant he gardened.
Right.
And that I think would be considered a pretty wholesome lifestyle, right? You go home, you settle down with a couple of glasses of wine, you get in your garden, and then you're able to go the next day and do the work that you're doing. So it's just, you're kind of the captain of your ship.
That's exactly right.
Captain of a ship isn't gonna, sink it unnecessarily. So again, everything in moderation is a weird thing, because moderation for one person is completely lit to another person.
Correct. And he alluded to that too. That
Yeah.
Once your brain is doing something that it wouldn't have done on it, then you probably wouldn't. And he was talking about alcohol typically can make somebody mean. And his problem, if somebody smoked too much weed and it became a lifestyle, they would get maybe more lethargic and maybe wouldn't have the motivation to do God's work.
Well, everybody's got a plan. God has a plan for you. And if you are taking that plan and desensitizing your brain and doing all, your brain is the universe that you live in. And if you are doing anything to impede that,
correct, you're
screwing yourself.
Right.
Because God's got a plan for you. It's bigger than you just sitting on your couch eating Doritos, smoking a joint.
Correct.
Now to flat Earth.
And now he basically said what you just said. You could have done the sermon, Eric.
Oh, hell no.
You could have done it. You could have done it. You would have liked hearing it.
No, I'm like a critic. You know what the difference between it's just critics are just frustrated at whatever they're doing. It's like you can criticize. People make money all day long criticizing things and making money at it. It's just you can't do what they do. That's the problem.
That's right. And so we can criticize.
Yeah,
it 'cause I
exactly.
can't do it anyway. So I'll just criticize somebody else.
Well, I mean, and that's what we do on Fridays. It's a free for all. We get it. We don't do as much politics. We cover some of these stories that are just bizarre and off the wall. And of course, we try to bring those things there. Okay.
Yep.
All right, Eric, I know that you're not going to like this, but I had to bring it up.
Here we go.
Kate Middleton.
Who says I don't like it?
I didn't think
this is like In Search of Bigfoot. What's going on in the?
This is some bizarre
This is
crap
really bizarre.
going on.
It is so bizarre because now AI has gotten into the mix. Here's what I've heard. See if this jives with what you guys are saying.
Yeah,
she's being cheated on by the prince
with a girl named Rose. I think
that's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
And they even got pictures of her.
I haven't seen the picture.
I guess like the Seal song, he's been kissing a rose.
See?
Wait a minute. How many videos did we send you with Kate? Is it 1 or 2?
It was 1.
Okay.
You couldn't find the other one.
All right. Check out this video. They do a whole podcast. And of course, we love podcasts. Local TV, TV's dead. Podcast or rock.
Yeah.
These ladies do a popcast or pop podcast. And they literally been talking about Kate. And they're freaking amazing because look at some of the evidence here about where the hell she is. This is just blowing my mind.
Okay, let's rock this thing.
Where the is Kate Middleton, part 11. If all the palace can give us are fake Photoshop photos of Kate Middleton, we really have to consider why the palace can't just quickly take a new one, a new proof of life. Let's all remember that just a few weeks ago, a Spanish journalist went on the record and said that Kate Middleton was in a coma and close to death. And when the palace was absolutely furious, the reporter doubled down on her claims that something was seriously wrong with Kate and that she was in a coma. This all leads me to a moment recently when Kate's uncle on Celebrity Big Brother was asked about her whereabouts, and he gave a very cryptic answer.
Can I ask you a question? Where's Kate?
So because she doesn't want to talk about it,
We can't talk about it.
the last thing I'm going to do is there's the kind of code of etiquette. If it's announced, I'll give you an opinion.
I hope she's okay.
But I think the most important thing, well, I spoke to her mum, my sister. She's getting the best care in the world. And all the family's done is put the wagons around and look after family first before anything else.
The part I can't stop thinking about is when he says, if it's announced, I'll give a comment on it. If it's announced, if what's announced?
If it's announced, I'll give you an opinion.
That simple phrase, if it's announced, tells us there's something big they're keeping from us. Follow for part 12.
Good.
Where?
Yeah.
Wow.
Princess Diana comes to mind really fast,
me
doesn't
too.
she?
I think this
Yeah.
whole situation is it's a house of cards that's going to come crashing down.
Yes.
When it
I
comes
am
to this royal
exceptionally
family.
interested in this crap.
Mhm.
I shouldn't be, but I
You
am.
made
Yeah.
my Friday. I thought that you'd be
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
No.
Because not only is this happening, then you have Prince William also stopped using his stamp on a document with his name and Kate's name.
Really?
Now he has an official stamp where it's just his name.
Well, that's very telling.
She's
isn't it?
dead.
And
Yeah.
She's dead.
Yeah.
She's dead.
And they did away with her.
Because there's no way that even if she was in a state of ICU or whatever, they wouldn't bring a camera in there going, hi, good people of Britain. I'm fine. I can look forward to seeing you again, my peoples.
Yeah, they wouldn't
Right?
do that. And you know what, Eric,
Right?
if you go on Facebook now, you can make a post starting this week of AI on Facebook. Any of us can do it. So they've been doing this a lot longer.
It's not even the AI. It's the fact that they tried to get away with the AI is the craziest part.
using her
Good point.
pictures from
Yeah.
another
Good point.
picture,
Yeah.
putting that out there.
Yeah.
And even
Wow.
William doubling down saying, oh, she's the artsy one. You know, she just
No.
made a mistake. There's some crazy ass crap going on there.
So she was
And then Henry's, who's Henry's gal again? I just know her from Suits.
Oh, Meghan Markle.
Oh, Meghan Markle.
She doesn't move the needle for me. But
She doesn't
anyway,
me either.
I
No.
watched an interview with her from a few years ago. She's like, this is the most bizarre thing that's happened because I had to give up my passport. I had to give up my license. I had to give up my birth certificate. And she's like, it's not like I can just call an Uber and go somewhere. I can't drive and I can't get an Uber. And anytime I'm anywhere, somebody knows exactly where I am.
What does that have to do with anything, though?
Meaning the whole family, the whole situation, that there's just a lot of weird going on there, how things are covered up, how everything's controlled behind the scenes.
Could she, one of our listeners
What
is
the-
saying that she thinks that she's getting treatment for an eating disorder and they just don't want anybody
No.
to know that.
No.
You don't think that's it?
No, because if there's nothing nefarious, if there's nothing that, we all have, know people that have bulimia and anorexia or whatever that surgery. What was the surgery? Does anybody know?
It was labeled as an abdominal surgery on December. Nobody's seen her since December 25th. And this is a high profile public job. This is like, well,
Wow.
it's par for the course for Biden. but-
Maybe she's transitioning.
Maybe she's transitioning. Well,
Oh,
maybe she is.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, that
Kevin
doesn't seem
Middleton?
too far fetched these days.
No.
Kev,
No.
So do you think she was really in there for an abdominal surgery or did they make that up because they
it
already
could have
offed
been.
her?
Maybe she died that way.
But then why don't they just tell us? It also reminds me of not only
She could
Diana, but
very-
Joan Rivers.
Dude, if she passed away, even if it's natural causes,
Right.
this will be another Princess Diana.
Right.
Well, her planned abdominal
good.
surgery was
For
scheduled
sure.
for January 17th. It is March 15th, almost 2 months later, and we haven't seen her.
Jeannie's saying she's out until Easter. What does that mean?
What does that mean, Jeannie?
Yeah, Jeannie, what does that mean that she's out until Easter? Like nobody's going to see her and then she's going to make
Well,
come out?
we've also seen different people reappear looking different, a la Biden, a la Jamie Foxx.
So the new girlfriend's going to come out looking like Kate Middleton. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
No, not the new one.
Isn't it sad? We don't trust our own government, but we don't trust the Brits either. I mean, those people are just some shady.
Well, Kensington, this is a quote. This was pretty interesting. This came out too. This is from the global news director of AFP. He explained on an episode of the BBC's media show. This is a big ordeal, big,
Yeah, it is.
big situation, big company in England. Quote, Kensington Palace is absolutely not a trusted source anymore following Princess Kate Middleton's edited Instagram photo.
No,
Like
absolutely.
with anything, you're let down by a source, the bar is raised.
Wow. And you know what? King Charles, Mindy says, is out of our view too for his cancer treatment.
It's out of our view.
Out of our view.
That's right too.
Yeah. Think about that. Wow. 2 people are out of our view.
I can't even figure it out. I mean, it's like all you got to do is snap a picture of Kate in her room that she's receiving treatment.
It's very
from.
simple. It is very simple, and they're not doing it.
No.
That's why I'm like, what the truck is going on?
So is there any news? I mean, is it just a bunch of TikTok influencers?
No, but what this is the biggest, because I know you like things like mainstream media,
Yes.
1980s.
Yes.
This is as close as you're going to get to it. That
I agree.
statement that I just read.
That's it.
From the
Read
NBA.
between the lines always.
That you're not getting. I mean, even Biden, who hides in his basement, who doesn't do a lot of public stuff, has 10 times more appearances. Her job is to go and see people and be seen.
Right.
Here's something that's highly
And we
believable.
already know what happened with Diana, and that whole thing.
I know.
And that whole
So-
thing was
I mean,
orchestrated from the start.
I heard
She was murdered.
This is
She
from
was murdered.
This is from Jamie. She says, I heard William's girlfriend is pregnant and Kate found out.
Oh.
Now that makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Then you have these closed door meetings about what are we going to do?
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll just have to just communicate us some way. Of course.
Yes.
Make it so. And then all of a sudden she's gone.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, after abdominal complications, she passed away on us last night. And then right?
No,
Dang.
but after all of the hype
Dang
and everything else is there's no way they can come back and say she's dead. And they kept it quiet. There's no way. They've got to come back with number 2, or she appears and we're left with a big gap of time and a story not knowing what the hell happened and what was going on behind the scenes, which would lead me to believe that there's no way they can come out now and say she's dead. Because that's
yes, they can.
No way.
It's like we tried to keep her away. That we didn't think the public would have liked seeing her in that.
No
state.
way they
And
can do that
We just
now.
couldn't get her out of the. We could not get her out of the coma, and we are so sorry. And then it's like
Yeah.
everybody puts on airs, and it
They act all
becomes.
sad and cry
Yeah.
and do a big funeral.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe Princess Diana had some assailant come and push that car into the side of the tunnel in France.
Yeah.
And that's how she passed away. It was on purpose.
That's right.
I mean,
It makes you wonder. At the time, I didn't think it was on purpose, Eric. I really didn't. And I was sad and watched the whole thing. And now I'm like, right now, and this could all be theory, but the royal family is, some of them are on the Epstein list. Some of them say that, that whole deep going down the rabbit hole that they're
This is
involved in.
this is a free for all Friday. That's what we do.
They're like all in this thing with what do they call the adrenochrome or whatever? They're all involved in that too. I mean,
Adrenochrome.
Yeah, adrenochrome.
The
Thank you.
drinking
Yes,
of
the drinking of the blood, children's blood. Yeah.
More specifically, their adrenal glands.
that was creepy as hell. Anyway, moving on.
I watch a lot of conspiracy
Yeah,
stuff.
you do.
But I mean, they're all involved in that, or supposedly. I mean, they've been accused of all of those from all different kinds of group. So, and people can make things up about them, but I mean, these people are dark, dark people. So it's not out of the realm of, reality that they offer.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, I am interested, but I'm not interested. Once we get to the end of the conspiracies, then I'm not interested anymore.
Right.
Until something else comes up.
That's right.
It drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because she's gone, and there's so many different theories, and the fact they're not coming out and saying it. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. We broke down some of the things that are happening, and it's starting to become more of a worldwide story.
Yeah.
And Angie is a UK listener and said all the people in England are talking about it, but no, I repeat, no national news is talking about it.
Mhm.
Nobody's now. You had that report.
But why
yesterday.
would they? That's very TMZ kind
No,
of
it's
stuff.
not. Where the hell is she?
Right, but
That's news.
But she's not a world leader. She's just a figurehead.
If Donald Trump was president and disappeared for 2 months and he had gone in for a surgery, you're like, wait a second, what the hell's going on?
Are the Brits allowed to demand answers?
They take their taxes for them. Hell yeah, they are.
That's true.
Hell yeah, they are. Did you have that video queued up again already? All right, this is a little bit long. This breaks down even in more detail. And this pictures, why would they go to this detail to fake a
Good point.
Yeah.
Look at this photo of Kate Middleton and her children. Does anything seem off to you? First, here. It appears there was some editing around Princess Charlotte's sleeve. The area where the skirt and sweater sleeve meet don't seem to align quite right. Second, here. The area where the Princess of Wales hair and zipper meet seems to be modified as well. You can see a line which can indicate that the image was photoshopped. Third, here and here. Many have questioned the placement of the princess's arms, which seem unnaturally long as they wrap around her children. Fourth, here, the future queen's hand, placed around her youngest child, Prince Louis, appears a bit blurred. The image was published on the Prince and Princess of Wales official social media pages for UK Mother's Day, with the caption, quote, "Thank you for your kind wishes and continued support over the last 2 months. Wishing everyone a happy Mother's Day." Prince William was credited as the photographer. Hours after it was republished by news media across the globe, several of the most trusted news agencies, including the Associated Press and Reuters, issued a kill notification, a rare warning to media outlets that an image should no longer be used. The AP message read in part, quote, "At closer inspection, it appears that the source has manipulated the image. Please remove it from all platforms." This Monday morning, March 11th, the Prince and Princess of Wales official social media pages posted a message addressing the controversy. Seemingly signed off by Princess Kate herself, it read, quote, "Like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph we shared yesterday caused. Kate Middleton had not been seen officially in public since Christmas Day, until an image published last week supposedly showed her being driven in a car by her mother Carol. That image too sparked a great deal of questions because it was quite grainy, and many questioned whether or not the woman in the passenger seat was in fact the princess. Back in January, Kensington Palace announced that Princess Kate had been hospitalized for an unspecified abdominal surgery, and that she would step back from public duties until at least Easter. In the months since, coverage of the princess's absence by the British press has been relatively subdued, though her prolonged absence from public function has certainly raised some eyebrows.
Okay, so what people are being told then is that she's had her abdominal surgery, whatever that is, and she just will be out of the public view until Easter.
That's the line.
That's the story.
So, as a photographer, I've edited thousands upon thousands of photos, and I will agree with that video right there that those photos were definitely doctored. And I'm sure that there's no question.
And they tried to pass that off as if it was real. Why did they try to do that? And it was found quickly
to shut people up.
And then they get the kill stories out there in media, just like national mainstream media does with the left local leaning broadcast stations. Kill, do not talk about this.
Oh, that's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing, believe it or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's happening. These are the things that make you go, oh, what the hell's happening? I'm sorry. She's not going to be found dead, in my humble opinion, or announced dead. She's going to come back, but I don't know if it's her. And why did she go away for so long? No way. No way that's just, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but TMZ is not really my cup of tea, but it is. I am so I mix it. It's like I'm very interested in ghosts. You can't prove ghosts are real either, but you can't prove that she's dead either.
Right.
So it's kind of the same thing.
Right. Because it's like, okay, it's really cool to talk about, but number one, we're never going to know the truth anyway.
Yeah.
We're never going to know that.
But the full truth.
Not the full truth. Yeah. We'll never know. Just like we don't know about Diana. Most people, I think the general public just believes the paparazzi killed her. But then there's a lot of people that feel like she was killed because of the affair that her ex was having. And now the son's having an affair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess in this case, if there's one thing we can take away is the kid didn't fall far from the tree from his dad.
You know, for being a royal blood, right?
Royal blood.
That family has some jacked up crap. Epstein affiliations.
Oh yeah, there are
murders all over the place.
Yeah.
Maybe
Rothschild involvement.
Rothschild involvement.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on. Camille, what's her name? The princess or the
and then Prince Andrew.
Queen. Yeah, Prince and I mean, it's for being royal blood. It seems like they need to purge at some point. Because it's like, man, just start over. Go get another king, you know. But it's cool because it's kind of like they have no significance other than just being figureheads of Britain. It's like this is what we used to do back in the 1200s. Actually,
those days are long gone.
They're
Just
kinda
like the
long
days
gone,
in
yeah.
the United States are long gone.
yeah, it's why I like to go to St. Charles. Like, oh, look at this how St. Charles, old time St.
like-
Charles used to be.
Just
Used to
like
be
the,
like that.
The 80s are gone.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Stop
Just
it.
Not on Saturday nights.
No, they're
with
not.
PRL.
That's right. You can still find the 80s around Eric.
Somewhere,
They
somehow.
still live.
Yeah.
They still live.
This is cancelthisshow.com. We're here Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. You can find all of our original library content on our website, cancelthisshow.com. We have merchandise there as well. Hats, cups, coolies, Stanley, shirts, you name it. If it's something for you. Or you know what? Do you have that one really good just friend that leans left? They'd love nothing more than getting a nice Donald Trump cancel this shirt.
There's no such thing.
Yeah, we got some of those things on there for you.
You do?
Yeah, we got Donald.
I want one.
Eric, you need to, give your bassist or not your bassist, give your guitar player and your drummer, give them a nice Trump gift. Give them a nice Trump gift for spring break.
I think that's a good thing. I know that we gave one of our neighbors a Trump shirt.
Oh,
that
dear
was a
God.
liberal.
The one that calls the police on you?
No, a different one.
Okay.
But they were liberal. Gosh, you know what? For me, living in God's country, I got some liberal neighbors, and I couldn't help myself.
Maybe it's not God's country.
Well, it's changing. You're no right.
Just like Chick-fil-A is not God's food anymore.
Stop ruining my day, Vic.
I'm about facts.
I know, but you're not wrong because God's country's got a lot of illegals in it now. But there is something gleeful for somebody that's rubbed politics in your face a lot. Then you give them a birthday gift with the face of Donald Trump. I think you
I love you even more,
should do
Lizzie.
that. And I have been known to do that.
That was Eric Johnson. He's getting a coffee. Lizzie's here. I'm Vic Faust. Lizzie Sparks, Vic Faust, Pro Joe. He makes his appearances here when he pops in. And by the way, when you were talking about that adrenochrome, that was creepy.
Wasn't it creepy?
Yeah, you played creepy very well with that voice, Joe.
Yeah, you did, Joe.
I had to clear my throat, and I was speaking without clearing my throat.
But that was perfect
It is.
timing
No.
because that is something that family is accused of as well.
Right.
Oh, that is so bizarre.
It really is.
By the way, another quick update regarding another one of the stories, non-politics. Riley Strain, the 22-year-old kid, the Mizzou student, they still haven't found him in Nashville. He is nowhere to be found. And if he was in the river, I was listening to it. They think they would have found him by now.
And they've been having the Coast Guard out there a lot. But here's something that I had heard, Vic, about that story.
Then I have a follow-up when Lizzie tells her story about some things that are happening there now.
Okay, and that might be the same thing. But there was a lady that her son knows him, but in addition had been to Luke Bryan's bar. And this particular lady said that this kid was really roofied. And he ended up, they ended up finding him. But she tells the story that she doesn't think that this gentleman, Riley, was just drunk. She thinks that somebody slipped something in his drink and there's something more nefarious going on.
But why?
I don't, well, why do, but why do people do that? Like we tell our daughters, when you go to a bar, keep your hand over your drink or keep it in your hand at all time because people slip things in your drink. And this lady, I don't know, but she really believes the way he was walking and the way that you see the video, it's different than just being drunk. She thinks he was roofied and that there's something nefarious they're going to find out about.
Joe, here, I'm sending you what I found the lady that Lizzie was talking about. Well, I get my phone's locked up here, but here's what they're doing. Okay. And that happened at Luke Bryan's bar.
Yes.
The same bar. Same bars that happened here. Now an investigation has been opened up into that bar.
Yes, correct.
Because allegedly there were more cases that happened there, people being roofied at Luke Bryan's bar.
Yes.
And I'm like, holy crap. So now the parents are putting out information as well, saying that this investigation is going on. Also, and this is why I wanted to show, and we'll show you this video, this update, because that video you found, and I just sent it to you, Joe, is fascinating, so people can see this. But now an investigation is going into that bar, and why they kicked him out. He was texting allegedly with his mom all night until he wasn't.
Yeah.
And I don't. You ever been roofied, Eric?
No, but there's a bar in Wentzville where we used to do an open mic, and there was an entire. I mean, there was probably 5-6 people that night roofied.
Really?
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, our old light guy, they found him in the bathroom when they were closing because he was all jacked up.
Wow.
I think
it happens everywhere.
I took a drink in Clayton, and I only remember having, and for other people, like, oh yeah, but for your own tolerance, 3 drinks, and I don't remember anything. Thank God at the time I was with my girlfriend, who said she had never seen me like that. Something had happened.
Something happened. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next day and a half, I could not move. I was the sickest I've ever been.
Yeah.
And all I remember is somebody saying, don't drink that drink. And I don't even remember who it was, but I did. And I don't remember anything. And it had to be carried out. And I was convinced I was roofied.
I guarantee you were.
Or I got something that wasn't supposed to happen, and it scared the hell out of me, which is why people have to be so careful when they're at bars. Here's that video Lizzie was talking about of this mom explaining what happened. Oh, I thought you said you got it.
No, I was saying that it never came.
Oh, okay. Well, let me check and see. I'll do that again. But that's why it's so scary when those things happen.
Yeah. You gotta be careful, especially down in Nashville and where people are to party. And it's there's a 75% chance he just drank too much, went to the bridge, somehow flipped over, and it is now in New Orleans.
But you know what? They said they would have found him by now.
You think so?
That's when I heard.
I heard
about that.
But the cell phone last kind of pinged him right by that bridge.
Correct. And that's why I think we would think that he's in the water, but they've been having, I believe it's the Coast Guard has been searching, or maybe it's their fire department, but somebody's been searching diligently since then, unless he's gone downriver.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, not at least, it sucks to say that, but they do know what happened. And I've seen, and things like this have happened before. It's not so uncommon.
Is there how do you correct it from happening again? Do you just kick somebody? Because you're not really responsible for somebody.
You have to be responsible for yourself. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That's why parents are like, you're not going to spring break.
But was this big 6'6", 6'7" kid roofied?
Probably.
Because they said that even his friend said he doesn't get when he drinks, he doesn't get he's a pro.
Okay, well, we are all pros, and there's been many a night
until we're not pros.
I mean, they poured one night in a PRL show, which I'm a pro. They poured me into the hotel next door, and I had no idea where I was when I woke up the next morning. So it has happened.
Isn't that great when that happens?
No, it's horrible.
It's like, was I good last night?
This was so bad because I thought, I'll just open the blinds and I'll figure out where I'm at. And then you still don't know where you're at. And then you go outside and you still don't know where you're at. Like, where the hell, what has gone on here? So it happens to people.
That happened to me one night, Eric. I woke up and my hair was singed.
What were you doing?
Right side of my hair was singed in high school.
Oh.
I later found out it had to do with a fire.
Yes. Try being part of a Sharpie party when you're not never mind.
I don't.
Never mind.
Here's the video. Here's on a more serious note. Here's the video Lizzie found and was talking about.
This morning to numerous videos on Riley Strain, who is missing in Nashville, Tennessee, when he was kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar for being overserved. And my niece sent me one today because she was with us when we all found the girl in Nashville who had been roofied while we were all at Luke Bryan's bar. And we helped her. She had no idea who she was. She didn't know where anyone was. She didn't know anything. She thought we were her friends and we had never met her before. Her behavior was so similar to the videos that I'm watching on this young man walking. I've seen 3 different videos and he can't even gain his balance. And now his friends are saying, hey, we've drank with Riley before. This is not the behavior that Riley exhibits when he's drinking. His mom said she was on FaceTime with him shortly before, like an hour and a half before all this happened, before he went missing. And he was fine. He was excited. He was texting her throughout the night until he no longer was. Then the friends are saying that the reason they could not go with him is because when he was kicked out of Luke Bryan's bar, he was kicked out of a back entrance and they weren't allowed to go out that entrance. And by the time they went around to find him, he wasn't there. Now, again, I wasn't there. I don't know what all has happened. I'm just trying to give information that's been given to me. But I don't think it's coincidental that it's the exact same establishment. And the fact that when this happened to the girl that we found, the people that contacted me, a number was alarming how many people things like this has happened to, and not just at that establishment, but other establishments in Nashville on Broadway. And they said people do it for the hell of it, just for the fun of it. I don't know what's fun about it. We now have a young man who's missing. The girl that we helped that night has never come forward. She is embarrassed. She thinks she did something wrong. I hope and pray she sees what's going on right now and she comes forward and she tells everybody what happened to her. Something has to change. This is not okay. And when we called 911 in Nashville, the police did not come. The paramedics came. Yeah. And the paramedics told us that they are so overwhelmed with this happening. Well, the police can't keep up with it all.
The story is this. I remember this used to happen back in St. Louis back in the day. You guys don't remember Bahama Mama or whatever that Bahama club was over in Westport?
That pink building.
That place was notorious. Mm-hmm. It was always chicks. But they go dancing. They leave their whatever cocktail on the table. Mm-hmm. Boom, a little bit of a nudge here, a little bit of a nudge there. They keep an eye on them to see if they can take them home. And it's a criminal act is what it is.
It's a criminal act.
But here's the thing. As a parent, you have to be smart enough to know why you're saying you're not going out to Miami. You're not going to Nashville anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm here to protect you until you're 26 years old, 25, whatever it is.
He's 22 years old.
Yeah, he's
22.
Dude.
If you've ever been to Nashville, you know that main drag right there, all the buildings, there's no alleyways. There's no way to get to the back of the building in an easy way. You have to go all the way up the street and go all the way back down.
But he was found not far from the bar. The video that we've shown this week.
Well, what I'm saying is for his friends to be able to meet up with him, they couldn't. They had to go way up the street in order to get to the back of the building unless you go through another establishment that has a rear entrance.
And I agree with you, Eric. Once your kids are out of college age, I always told my kids in high school and in college, you cannot go on spring break.
Yeah.
Maybe they snuck and I don't know about it.
Yeah.
But because some of them went away to college. But I was like, I won't give you any money for that because people's brains are not fully developed. I'm not saying that to be mean. And you do stupid things you wouldn't do at, say, 27. Mm-hmm. And there's so many things that happen. Even your good kid might do something they wouldn't do or get slipped a roof.
I think it's the cops' fault too. And it's the prosecutor's fault too. And I think that in these situations, I do think that if you're Miami, and I'm slipping to Miami now because Nashville is not one of those kind of places. It shouldn't be like that, but it is. It's a crowded bar, and that's a roofie. Everything happened exactly proper, I think. The Luke Bryan people don't know who's bringing roofies in the joint, first of all, and that's not just because that's where it happens doesn't mean it's Luke Bryan's fault or his team's fault. You know what I'm saying?
They choose to do it there.
Right
because it's a popular place.
Right, they see him drunk. He's probably by a back door, and they're like, "Kid, you got to get out of here. Go home."
I had a friend that this happened to.
Nothing.
Bowling alley.
Yeah, nothing wrong happened in this situation.
Correct.
They kicked him out. He tried to walk. He was so impaired he fell on his face. There's no one there to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably an accident, but the criminal behavior was putting a roofie in the kid's drink. There's the criminal behavior.
Correct.
Well, in this day of defund the cops, and the cops are always the bad guy, you can't have these safe cities anymore. You can't do it. St. Louis has become a place you cannot go after hours.
True.
You can't do it.
Yeah,
don't even worry about that. You used to be able to do it.
St. Louis City this week, that's for sure.
You used to be able to do it. Miami is like, we're cracking down on your asses. So they move up to Fort Lauderdale.
Correct.
You have to do that statewide. You have to do it countrywide so that these kids know that you're safe. So there are consequences with this stuff. And until that happens, parents better be like, You know, I love you more than you going to spring break, I'm afraid. So what do you want to do here? You want to go to Chuck E. Cheese? We'll go to Chuck E. Cheese. How's that sound?
Chuck E. Cheese.
But here,
Take your 20
Yeah.
to Chuck E.
We'll
Cheese.
get you a 6-pack and go to Chuck E. Cheese.
That's right.
Bring
or,
your girlfriend.
Or have the police called to your house and your kids are at your own house.
The issue, once again, is parents are teaching kids you stay with your group. And they were all, and if you go to a bar, you're going to get pushed away from time to time.
Are you going to let your boys go down there?
To Nashville?
Nashville.
My son's, my daughter has gone on trips and she's gone with her boyfriend or friends. As a matter of fact, Derek, I know you weren't with us in the show. My daughter was with his group Saturday night or Friday night.
Okay.
In Nashville. He's a Mizzou guy, and two of his best friends are Westminster Christian Academy grads out of the St. Louis area. He's a pledge brother of my daughter's boyfriend.
Yeah.
So she was in Nashville last weekend. So as soon as I saw that report Monday, I texted her and I'm like, honey, do you know this? Right? She's like, I don't know him personally, but that was such and such's friend. They're pledge brothers.
Yeah. Wow.
So that really hit home in your house.
Well, I mean, I don't know him,
That was
but
pretty close to the bone.
But that stuff hits. It happens. It can happen to anybody at any time.
Yeah.
Just like with all these other stories we talk about with illegals coming in. I mean, you see crime. It can happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
You just never know what you may be walking into.
It's a shame. It doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't
But
have to be that way.
but somehow we're so stupid, and I say us all collectively, we voted for these morons, and these morons have let this country go to hell.
That's exactly.
Well, but morons didn't have anything to do with the Nashville situation.
But
in a way they did.
It's all part and parcel though, because we're so
because you got to stay ahead of the situations that are around you. And Nashville,
but it's impossible to stop roof. I mean, they've got video cameras, security cameras all over the place.
Yeah, I look at it in the cumulative. It's part of the cumulative data that we're putting together about how safe or unsafe we are as a country. And that stuff should not be happening. It should be the consequences of roofing somebody should be so dire because you don't want to go to jail for mandatory 10 years.
Correct.
But there's none of those laws are not on the book.
Right.
That should be.
That's
you
right.
see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. And
you
there's
should
no
be
law and order.
Yeah. You should be so safe to go to Miami for spring break and enjoy one of the great things in life, being in college, going to spring break, having those memories. Instead, how as a parent can you not be completely frightened for your child?
That's right. That's
And by the way, it is
exactly
St. Patrick's Day weekend,
Yes,
and it is spring break.
Yeah.
It's spring break for a lot of people as well, trying to take care of everything. Eric, would you want to live in a C-40 city? Do you know what a C-40 city is?
I kind of know. We talked about it before.
We talked about it. It's been a while, but there's more talk now.
It reminds me way too much of what's that? The Killing Games with
Hunger Games.
The Hunger Games.
Well, here's a report on the C-40 cities. And the head of the C-40 company, it's a man out of England and a woman out of France that are pushing this, and allegedly part of the New World Order, part of the globalization agenda that's out there. And we've talked about 15-minute cities in the past, and here it is. Check out this video. Did you have it ready to go, Joe? I you were looking. Anyway, these 15-minute, they're called C-40 cities. They actually have a website as well. Okay.
The 15-minute cities is something that the WEF has created called C-40, and it's called C-40 cities. I would urge you to certainly look on the internet about it, and then go to all of the TikTokers and see what they're really saying. Basically, you won't be able to drive a petrol or diesel car anymore. You'll have to buy electric. If you want food, you will get a calorie-controlled system sent to you by text saying, this is what you can eat today. This is what you can have today. If you violate any of these things, they'll freeze your bank account. That is the next step. These are stages in which they're going to implement this stuff. And this was signed up by the WEF, and the WEF has signed up with our mayor in London as the chair. And he has gone around the world to communicate this C-40 to all of the countries in the world. And most of the countries are looking at adopting it. Now, I am going to abolish it. It is a hopeless position. We are going to be in an open prison, or shall we say a COVID, for the rest of our lives. We will not be able to work unless it's in our 15-minute city. It's diabolical. It's not this is not the right thing. And it's been hidden from the public. No one's talking about it. The 15-minute cities is
Nobody's talking about it.
Can you imagine saying we're moving to China for freedom?
But that's kind of what is happening. I mean,
That's exactly.
I mean, that's exactly what happened.
Venezuela.
Them taking away.
Yeah, we're going to go to,
Yes.
let's go to Rio so we can be free.
Mhm. I mean, that's sad because I trusted more.
So stupid.
Well, look at X that Americans are wanting to take over X, and yet X is completely open. But we're censored on YouTube, Facebook, all these other things, and they're not doing it for our betterment.
No,
they're doing it to control us, just like these cities.
It's a ridiculous concept.
It's
I mean, everything that they thrown at us now is it flies in the face of freedom, liberty, justice, that kind of thing, which is what this country was built on. No matter how it was built, that's where it went when we wrote our Constitution. So you can't. These people tried to get away with all these mandates. I am still convinced that can I say the C word anymore? The cupcake word?
You can say cupcake, but not the C word.
I can't say the C word.
No.
Okay, the C word was
I thought we could say the C word.
Well,
this is how ridiculous it is.
Isn't it? Don't say it, just in case. I mean, you can say it if you want to, but that when we had that, month ban on YouTube, we don't know.
I'll say it is the great COVID virus.
Welcome to freedom of speech.
Yeah, well, I think that was the trial balloon. I do. I think that there was a lot of that to see how much can we get away with.
Of course.
And I really do. And I think there are people in back rooms that are very dark, and it's like, okay, what happened here? What can we learn from this? Okay, the ballots that we got through the late, all kinds of stuff socially.
World Economic Forum is exactly what you're talking about.
Look, because of this, we're able to push through these green initiatives a little bit easier. Whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's what these C-40 things are. It's to segment us, get us away from each other, and it's dark and it's dingy and it's ugly. And I can't wait that us moronic people wake up and go, "You want to do what? You're out, Cori Bush. Get your crap out of here. We're done with this garbage."
By the way,
Biden,
she is now being said, or it's being written about her nationally, that she has a real problem being reelected right now.
Well, I hope Wesley Bell kicks her butt.
Well, why would Wesley Bell not be the guy to? I mean, I don't know Wesley at all. You do
because of St. Louis City residents.
What about them? Do you think St. Louis City residents like what's going on down there?
In her district? No, but they blame you for that.
Who?
White
you.
People.
Well, what about Wesley's not
a black man.
He's trying.
I hope so. I hope he wins. And here's this, speaking in that thing. Okay. A lot of people don't like Ann Wagner. Okay. But guess who's running against her? It was just announced this morning. I can't remember his name, but he's the one that's in charge of Riverfront Times. So people better wake up.
Oh, God.
And you may not like Ann Wagner, but you better vote for her in congressional 2 or whatever that is. I think it's congressional 2.
I just like her hairstyles.
Well, that's right. If you live in
because they're from the 80s.
Yeah,
glamour shots.
Otherwise, you're going to get that
Aquanet.
lefty loon that runs the Riverfront Times because he's supposedly put his hat in the ring yesterday.
Well, that's great.
So think about that. So we got Ann. Okay, Ann. Yeah. But I'll vote for Ann over him any day.
Yeah. Somebody on the chat line wants us to talk about Fani. And I think
we hit it a little bit earlier.
I do think it's apropos. I didn't have a chance to say anything about it.
Well, you say it, then you.
But it's official. She'll be on the case now. I would love to know how the dynamics of this whole thing work. I don't give a damn about the jaded boyfriend. I think. I mean, I watched this whole thing, and I think that he was there for the money. He was there for. He was there for the ride. He was like he couldn't get far enough away from this shit.
Well, he was there for a ride.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, I don't think he liked his
like
ride,
100 rides.
Yeah.
But I think his rides. He thought it was a Pinto.
Yeah.
I don't think he was going for the Cadillac. He wanted the money.
Right. And I just think I just think it would have been good for the American psyche if this judge would have said, "Look, you guys screwed this thing up so bad. Why don't we get this out of your prosecutor's office? The indictment's still there.
Bought and paid for. The judge is. Yes, okay. He is a judge with a liberal past who has to. He will get, the term is harsh, but crucified in Fulton County by the African American community, the entitlement
Mhm.
people of which she is a part of. Because what does she do? What is every time when something bad happens, she races to her church.
It's
A black woman.
Yeah.
I'm a black woman.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, come on. Okay, we know you're black. You don't have to go scream it.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
I mean, I watched
Yeah.
the video of her screaming. It's like, okay, it doesn't matter the color.
What happened to the days when prosecutors didn't say crap in public? You never saw them. Now you have the DA, what's her name out of New York, who just prosecuted Trump.
Letitia. Because she wants attention. That's why they're doing it.
What happened to the days when you didn't put politics in the middle of your cases? Because politics wins cases. If I am a Republican fighting a Republican battle in a Republican district, and I come out, it seems like it's unjust. It's like you have tainted this trial so bad because you threw your politics on top of it. It's like salt and pepper. It's like, that's not supposed to be the way Lady Liberty works. It's like, here's the charges. This is what we're charging you for. We won't talk about this until after the case, right? But they do that now in this Fonnie Will. She comes out and they basically say, I'm going to run an election based on going after somebody. How can you do that? You don't have any evidence right now. You're just going to go after them. You're going to find them guilty on something.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord.
That's the country we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, everything that you're saying common sense, that of course that she should be guilty. We know what she was doing, but because it's a liberal judge who has such Trump derangement syndrome, it really is a nothing burger. And I do agree with you that the psyche of America would have been great if this had happened, but I don't think right or left ever expected.
It's not going to, but guess what? It's not going to matter in the end.
So let's break this down.
That case is not going to affect.
So let's break
Trump
this
in
down.
any
It's a RICO.
way.
It's a RICO case.
Correct.
It's hard to prove
Correct,
those things.
correct.
It's
So
not gonna go anywhere.
so maybe in a way this is a good thing, to be honest with you, because this trial is going to make her look like a fool.
You mean how could she be made look more like a fool than she already is?
Right. And then this
and a dirty fool.
Right.
Yeah,
and maybe this is the kind of thing that
dirty in a variety of
yeah,
ways.
yeah. Wow.
You bet.
I'm waiting for the book to come out. But
I would not waste my time.
or the Netflix special.
Well, there'll be.
She's nasty.
She is nasty. She nasty.
Now I do have to ask you guys, was her dress backwards or not?
I kind of looked like it was.
It was designed that way on purpose.
Yeah. I don't
Why?
know.
That's what I thought.
No, dresses don't have zippers right here, right?
There's no way in hell she did it on purpose, and
Right?
it's not meant to be that way.
I think it was meant to be that way. I think that was the style she was going for, but it didn't.
I don't know,
backwards.
man.
I
That's the real.
or maybe
question.
that's how her boyfriend liked it. And she was taunting him in court.
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, that answer's as good as any with
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I
going
guess
on.
so. But there's your Fonnie Willis breakdown. I could care less.
I know.
I think this is going to be a joke.
It is. It's
It's an
nothing but
absolute joke.
Mhm.
This is a banana republic at this
It
point.
is.
It is so stupid, and it's coordinated. And it's like all of these trials are going. They're like, well, how do we fit this one in? How do we? It seems like you would basically put them in a line, and it was like, you don't mess with multiple trials, especially when you're running for president. It's like you have a federal judge say, all right, if you want to prosecute this guy on all this stuff out of New York, out of Atlanta, out of Florida, out of the federal cases, you start with this one and then you work your way down the line. It seems completely unconstitutional to have this many trials going on at the same time.
Mhm.
And when is the federal prosecutor going to drop it and say, you know what, we went inside of our envelope and now you're running for president, and we quash trials while you're running for president? When's that going to happen?
It's not. That's why Trump has to come back. He does, because then it could maybe change.
Or Aaron Rodgers.
But even if Trump wins, don't think that the attacks will stop. Things will happen even more so. It's going to continue to happen.
What if Trump asked Aaron Rodgers to be his vice president?
Aaron Rodgers is playing football next year.
And he's also running for vice president.
He's not running for vice
You don't
president.
think so?
No.
Why not? Why do you think?
Because he wants to play football. He loves the attention.
He's from Oakland, isn't he?
But that's a conspiracy there. He's not running. He's playing football. He makes a lot more money.
Man, the last
playing
time
football.
I did this, I got in a lot of trouble. What's the bet?
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing a bet.
Why can't we do a bet?
Because I don't want to do a bet with Eric.
I know.
like
This
Eric.
is true. This
I
is
like
true.
Eric.
It's Aaron Rodgers. Aaron and
Well, because he thinks he's right and you're wrong. He doesn't want to take your money.
I can see what he's saying, but Aaron Rodgers is going to be running for vice president as he's
As an
running.
independent.
He's not running. That's why I didn't even bring it up. He's not running. It's people trying to make all kinds.
He's been talking to RFK every day.
Yeah, I know.
He waxed poetic the other night on Brett Baer's show about it.
But I'm just telling you, it's more Aaron Rod. You have to understand Aaron. Aaron's this type of, he loves attention.
And he does weird things when he's playing football, like going down to Central America using those psychedelics. Yeah.
But Aaron Rodgers is playing football next year. And 2 days before, Aaron Rodgers said that he could play another 3 to 4 years of NFL football.
Okay.
So that was 2 days before the announcement. He's not going anywhere. He's playing football. It was hype. It was all hype. Aaron Rodgers is not, he's not going to jump on a losing ticket either.
Yeah, because he's not going to win. And RFK, I think a lot of people thought he might be a good alternative to Donald Trump. I mean, I know he's way left, but he screwed the pooch when he literally said it was either this week or
he's
last.
Picking up 10 polling points in Wisconsin right now. All he needs is 34 to win the election.
He's not doing that. Hey, we have a positive note today as we head towards the end of the show.
Good.
We had Ronnie Robinson on this week, Eric.
Yeah.
Ronnie had 2 sons that were murdered in the St. Louis area due to violence, and they were not criminally charged ever. Somebody asked me that. Well, he did adopt a highway signs for both of them in 2 different locations.
I saw that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the adopt a highway sign for one was taken down because of construction. The other one, it was a construction as well, where they weren't putting them back up. So he came on our show and we had him on the show and they still weren't up. And so he's like, I don't know why they're supposed to go back up, because now, MSD had the department is separate, but within MSD, they didn't know if they wanted to continue the program.
Okay, fair enough.
But he already had information and paperwork that said that the only reason they were taken down was because of construction.
Okay.
Well, Ronnie sent me a picture yesterday and he gave us credit. The sign's back up.
Good.
Love it.
They got the sign. That's one of them. That's for Lonnie. But he also has another son. He's waiting for that sign to come back up as well.
Where's that one located?
And I think that's is that the
one's
There's one north on 270 in front of Randall's off Dunn Road. Service road.
Yeah, and he said that's a great location because you don't have to worry about traffic hitting you when you're picking up trash.
And he goes out there like it's a memorial all the time.
He goes and he picks up trash
for his sons.
That's fantastic.
So we got good news there. And then earlier this week, we got good news when we had Kim Byzantine, the original founding member of the Coldwater Creek Group. She was hoping that, Ann Wagner and people in the House would get on board to try to pass a bill to compensate victims. She came on the show later that afternoon. She posted on Facebook, I think Ann Wagner or her people were listening to cancel this because now she's going to support our bill. And that was 4 hours later.
And we had a lot of the listeners call Ann Wagner's office. So that's really great.
So Ann Wagner got on board. Ann Wagner was not for the bill because she thought it was too much money at one point in time, which, I mean, it would be fair. You just have to know why somebody is saying no. And
and I got ripped for that from some people because I said, maybe Ann is doing something we don't know. In the end, I think she will vote positively for it.
Of course you
and
do.
they were, and I really thought that. And that's the same case with Ann. In the end, Ann usually does pull out and vote the way, but she negotiates. And whether we like it or not, and I'm not saying I'm a huge Ann fan, but she negotiates. And in the end, we get what we want to. And keep in mind, like I just said earlier, who's going to run against her. If you don't vote for Ann because you don't like her, you're going to get the Riverfront Times as your senator.
Yeah, I don't know that a lot of people don't like her, right?
There's a lot of people call her a rhino. She's not really.
I'm hearing more and more of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I hear a lot. But here's the deal. A lot of people call other people a rhino when they're not really a rhino. They just didn't agree with them. Yeah. And I saw that on another radio show that was brought to my attention.
Oh, I love some good Republican on Republican crime.
Well, there was. I can bring it up. I mean, somebody
go ahead, do it.
You may bring it up. Okay, you were talking about Nick Schroer. He's a fabulous legislator.
Yeah,
he is fabulous. So I'm defending Nick Schroer here.
Yeah,
Schroer. It's like flame thrower. It's
well,
Nick
there is
Schroer.
that.
Yeah. So he is a wonderful legislator. He truly is.
Yeah.
And he's sometimes like an Ann Wagner. He's basically being compared to Ann Wagner right now because on school choice, he had to give a little. to get the bill to cross.
You got to give a little to get a
Yeah.
little.
And
Marty
I
Moneyweg
agree
told me that a long time ago.
You don't want to do that. The Nick Schroer that I know is very conservative. He's conservative as anyone, but he's an attorney. So he's a good legislator. So now we've got people, and I will say this. There is a group of people that I'm going to call, and I'm going to piss some people off, that is so far right. And for me to say that, people are like, well, you're so far right. I said, yes, but I understand legislation. You can be so far right that the circle meets and all of a sudden the far left and the far right are right here.
Ooh, that's deep.
They're right.
It is. You could write a book.
Truth, but it's the truth because they don't understand legislation. They want what they want. And in the end, you've got the far left and the far right not liking the way we're going to get to school choice. And it's because they don't understand legislation. Nick Schroer does, and he knows it's a battle, and it's an inch and then another inch. And then another inch. And he got a very big win. Him and all the people got a very big win. They've got the biggest step they've made to getting school choice. And the far right are making lies about him, saying he is a rhino, calling him a Democrat, calling him all these things. And on a different radio show, somebody brought it to my attention because they wanted my opinion on this, knowing that I understand politics. And it was the biggest shit show of a show because Nick, who I love, I think he took the bait and he sunk to her level, and they both started name calling. And Nick Schroer is much better of a legislator to sink to this level. And the other lady, she's not a legislator, she's a mama, and she's a mama bear. And I'm not saying anything.
We
bad
already
about
said
her.
that's why you don't. That's why you can't engage with a smaller fish.
You can't. And Nick
is
Schroer
the whale,
the big fish,
and she's the small.
Correct. And he and I will say that. And if Nick ends up listening to this, I am a very big supporter, and he got a very big win, and he's a wonderful legislator. But now they're trying to group him with people that are rhinos. He's not a rhino. He's far from a rhino, but he's smart. And he's going the mile to get the next step and the next step. So now you've got people that are good conservative people, and they act like they're good Christians, but what they're doing is they're now going all over social media and saying he's a rhino and this one's a rhino. They do it to my son-in-law too, because he's a good legislator.
Her son-in-law is running right now, if you didn't know that.
My son-in-law is running for Congress. He's running.
Nice.
He's running for Blaine Luchtenmeyer's spot.
Very good.
And so, and he is in the same realm of a good Nick Schroer type. And so you got the people that I'm just going to say it, the real far right and the real far left. And that is a negative statement I'm making, because good conservatives aren't necessarily so far right.
Right.
They don't know how to legislate. So they go after, and instead of trying to talk to people in a nice manner, they just start calling them names. And it's bigger, and I'm sure Vic will agree, it's bigger than I've ever seen it, calling other good conservatives rhinos or names.
The problem with conservatives
is
this. They try to play by rules.
And they don't donate money.
Yeah,
they try. Democrats, on the other hand, have no rules.
That's exactly right.
They have Molotov cocktails.
Exactly right.
They have ballots that you can stuff. They have all kinds of tools at their disposal. They have name calling, flame. Republicans are always trying to win the battle by, hey, let's have a discussion. I told you my idea is much better than yours, and Nick is absolutely right. And we had a chance to know Nick a little bit when we were over at the other station. And there's nothing rhino.
There's nothing rhino about it.
How about Nick Schroer?
Nothing.
There's nothing.
Nothing. And now he's the newest rhino.
No, there's not. When you think
he's
of
not a rhino.
When you think of rhinos, you think of Mitch McConnell.
Mhm.
You think of
Correct.
You know, you think of guys that
Mitt Romney.
Those are rhinos. They are.
But rhino isn't even necessarily a bad word. It just represents an era of how legislation used to get done.
Correct.
Before you have to remember something. Remember when AOC was just a bartender? And then she came in and became an influencer. She's one of the first influencer legislators there's ever been. I'm going to go to Congress today, and then I'm going to TikTok about it, and I'm going to win my constituency that way. Well, you can't legislate like that anymore, because now the left has this unfair advantage.
Correct. That's exactly right.
You have the rock star, what's her name, Cori Bush. She's a rock star, but she's a moron.
She is a moron. She is a moron. And she's the far left that's a moron. So when you do have a rock star like a Nick Schwartz, and I will even say my son-in-law, Justin Hicks.
These are local politicians.
They are.
Well, no, Corey's not.
But
no.
Corey is as national as they come these days.
They are.
Oh, well, Nick, right.
Right, right. But Nick, but Nick has a very big name too. And the reason why I'm saying that is you cannot believe people who don't know how to legislate. I want tomorrow. I want tomorrow.
This is where you're passionate. I can feel it from you.
It is. I want tomorrow, no taxes.
Yeah.
Zero taxes.
Yeah.
I'm libertarian like that.
Yeah.
That being said, you still have to give a little to get a little, or otherwise the Democrats are going to hold you hostage.
Yeah.
So a good legislator has to give just a little. And you may not have wanted to give it at all.
I think there is a time.
Anything done.
Democrats will end up working with each other.
They will, but Republicans
will
don't
take their ball and go home.
They will.
They're army ants, and they're always going to be army ants.
Correct. And we have a lot that are running.
That's where we credit the Democrats.
That's right. Well, Eric, there's a lot of people that think that these people are really great politicians because they're so far right and they vote 100% of the time. They don't know how to legislate though. They obstruct.
Yeah. But you're still, there's a gradient that's happening, and you know this. It's people who go to work. I'm a legislator. I'm a senator, and they have this thing. You can't be like that anymore.
No.
The new RNC chairman, they better come in there.
That's right.
With some serious hardware.
That's right.
Or else the Republicans.
That's
I don't
exactly
care.
Right.
You can't be a puss anymore.
No,
is what I'm saying.
You have to be a
But you don't
badass.
have to have videos of flamethrowers because you said that earlier. I mean, I saw some young woman who's running in Missouri.
She did it too.
She's copying. It's like, get a brain. I mean, I'm trying to be mean, but do something different than a flamethrower.
What would you rather use?
I don't know. Nothing. Just be different. Be creative. But
we're not living in that world anymore, Vic. We're living in visuals.
Well, and
we're living in that weird visual kind of
correct. And just because you have a
15-second
flamethrower, and this is not making fun of Nick at all. But this is like other people, they do these things, and there's plenty of people who are flamethrowers, and I'm not talking about Nick, that do this and they don't know how to legislate.
Yeah.
But you're to your point about all of this is good conservatives who don't know how to legislate, but they still want what the good legislator does. They're fighting.
So you can't.
They're fighting openly.
This is what we talked about.
It's ridiculous.
This is what we talked about. You Republicans,
stop it.
You better figure out how to get in the same boat because you're in two boats right now. You have two parties going on.
Correct.
You have the far right weird, thing going on, and then you got the guys that I'm conservative too. I want school choice, but I kind of know like how to legislate. You think you're in two boats? You better figure out how to get in the same damn boat
That's
now.
right. And they're not, and they're fighting when we least need them to fight.
And we set the stage for Monday.
Yeah.
When we get more into politics.
You betcha.
By the way, before we get out of here, ending just a little bit earlier, we got to do a recording here right after the show. St. Patrick's Day weekend. Have fun if anybody has plans. By the way, the top 3 cities for celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Do you know what they are, guys?
St. Louis has to be in there.
St. Louis is not in the top.
Oh, wow.
That surprises me.
Maybe St. Louis.
They're from Mardi Gras, but maybe not
St. Louis is, because St. Louis takes the spot as number 2 in the country for Mardi Gras.
Correct.
Behind New Orleans.
Number 1 would have to be New York, right?
Number 1 is Chicago.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
they turned the river green.
Yeah, that's right.
I was in Trump Tower while that happened and got to look down at the Green River. It was one of the coolest things ever.
Yes. Number 2, not New York, Boston.
Okay.
Boston,
it's
Irish,
the most
it's
the most Irish city in the United States.
That's right.
I like it. Okay, makes
Mark
sense.
Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Don't you remember one of the best rap songs ever, Jump Around?
Jump Around.
Was from
Jump
the Irish
Around.
What was the name of that guy was Irish, I thought, the lead singer.
Yeah, it's House of Pain.
House of Pain, baby.
There you go.
That's
Look at
good
you.
stuff.
Wealth of
four-leaf
knowledge. Right.
clover.
There he is.
Number 3, New York City.
Okay.
Those are the top 3 for St. Patrick's Day. No surprise to me there. Maybe St. Louis came in at number 4.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they did.
They got to be there somewhere.
They do, because we like our green around here.
There's a lot of Irish here, but there are more Germans throughout the St. Louis area
There's
than
a lot
Irish.
of Germans. Very true.
And then Eric brings up the Swede population.
There are no Swede population. A lot of
guys, we appreciate you jumping in today.
I did want to show a little bit of proof of why and how the Kate Middleton photo was.
Okay.
Okay,
let's see what you got
see
here.
it. Let's see
This
it.
is actually, Greg, of course, but he's showing how easy it is to face swap just with an app.
Love it.
That's sick. That's scary. That's
I have to go wash my brain.
I do too. That is Vic Faust. You know who he is, though? You know who that is? That is definitely what we should use, because yesterday we were calling him the VIC and the 314. That's what we should use right there.
That's right. I used to be the VIC.
Let me see it one more time.
The notorious VIC.
Let me see that one more time.
Oh my God. I thought you would have cleansed yourself.
No, we
I know. Now I have to see it
That
again.
stuff. That's cool.
Oh my God. This is his Match.com profile. This is horrible.
This is awesome. This is awesome.
I can't take that.
Okay.
All right. Smash my computer right
There we go. The VIC and the 314. There he is.
The VIC and the
314. There he is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm done. I'm out.
Good job.
Good
All
job.
right.
Whoever
Thanks,
did that.
Greg. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
This is
Greg.
Cancel This. Eric Johnson, always great to have you. You guys, is PRL playing anywhere?
No, I'm off. But I might
Good
come
for
here
you.
Monday. If you guys are doing politics on Monday.
Yeah, come on Monday.
Dude, but you can come. Just
You
let
can
us
come
know.
any
Give us
day
a heads
you
up.
want.
Maybe I'll
Any day.
just sneak in.
You are welcome to sneak in too. You're welcome every day.
That's Eric Johnson.
You heard her.
Pro Joe in the house. Thanks again, Pro Joe. Looking good, making us sound and look as good as we can. Lizzie Sparks. I'm Vic Faust. Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. Central. Of course, you can check us out. News headlines, politics, interviews from all over the country, cancel culture, education, business, and our free for all Fridays. Check out our website. You can buy some merchandise, and if you want to make a donation, you can do that as well. All right, we appreciate it, everybody. Have an awesome weekend. Happy St. Patrick's Day as well. Be safe and
Cover your beer.
that does it for the fastest 2 hours in podcasting. We'll catch up with you for Cancel This on Monday.